Well, hello everybody, and welcome to another fabulous episode of No, She's Not My Daughter. I'm Jason, the older and more bloated version of our relationship. And as always, the lovely and talented and eye candy, Brandy, baby girl Ryan. Say hello to the good folks, baby girl.
Hello, good folks.
It's been a hot minute since we've been on.
Yeah.
We took a little bit of a break
on,
there.
Though.
We did.
We had birthdays and Mother's Days, Father's Days.
We did.
Work things.
I got to tell you, I was impressed that we had several people that emailed us and sent us text messages and stuff. And said, "Where the fuck are you people?" we kind of got in a rhythm there, and we apologize for that. It wasn't from lack of interest. It was life kind of got ahead of us there.
A lot of things going on.
Yeah, a lot of things going on. So before we get too deep into this, baby girl, why don't you tell them where they can find us?
Find us on Instagram and TikTok at Jason and Brandy, Jason with a Y, Brandy with an I. Facebook and YouTube, No, She's Not My Daughter. And then email us at notmydaughterpod@gmail.com.
Excellent. And now we're going to go to your favorite portion of the show, baby girl's favorite show. It's called Famous Age Gap Couples with Brandy Ryan.
Yes. This week kind of ties in to a little bit of our podcast. And since we saw the movie yesterday, it is Elvis and Priscilla Presley.
Oh.
Sure, not bad. Which they have a baby gap.
Baby gap.
And they're only 10 years, but it still counts.
Yeah.
But he was 6 foot, and she is 5'4".
She is 5'4".
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Real quick, what'd you think of the movie?
I thought it was great.
Yeah.
He did really good.
It was
Austin
really
Butler
cool.
who plays him.
It was really cool. We may do a little blip on that later on,
Yeah.
but it was
If
fabulous.
you haven't seen it, definitely go see it. I learned a lot about him that I didn't know.
Yeah.
And I got a whole new appreciation for him, too.
Yep, I agree. So, in case you hadn't figured it out yet, the theme of our episode today is Viva Las Vegas. Viva Las Vegas. I took baby girl on her birthday trip. She just turned 28, so happy birthday, baby girl.
Thank you.
You are very welcome. So because of our broad age gap, there's so many things, as you guys know, that I've experienced in my life, but she hasn't experienced in hers. And so I wanted to do something for her that nobody did for me, when I was her age. And that was take her on a fabulous vacation trip to beautiful and fabulous Las Vegas, Nevada, for the time of her life. And we planned a great trip, and we had a great time. And I could talk about it for hours, and she knows that I will. That's why we have to let her do the talking sometimes. So I'm just going to kind of, because it was fun looking at it through her eyes, I'm going to turn it over to her now and let her tell you kind of how the trip went through her eyes. And because it was just a ton of fun, and it was so cool to see it through your eyes. Yeah. So we left on a Tuesday, and take it from there.
Yes. I was super excited the whole time. Never been to Vegas. Always wanted to. I never had really anybody to go with, and at the time, 21st birthday, my best friend was pregnant, and then 22nd birthday, pregnant again, and then she just kept getting pregnant. But so even the plane ride to Vegas was memorable because we got to fly over the Grand Canyon.
That's right, I forgot about that.
Yes, and unfortunately, I'm one of those people. I never really understood why. What was so special about the Grand? I knew it was okay. It's this really cool big rock for me. Yeah, but it was beautiful.
It was.
Flying over it, seeing how huge it is. You can't fathom how big this thing is. And the sun was hitting it really nicely, and it was gorgeous. I got the window seat. You got to see. You never seen it.
I've never seen it.
The Grand Canyon. Always wanted to. I'm like, we got to see it flying over. So it was already an amazing start. Yeah. So we got to see Lake Mead.
It just makes you feel so insignificant.
Yeah. And it just looks like a different planet.
Yeah.
It looks like Mars. Yeah, because then you see that little weird lake that's turquoise color, and you're like, it's
Lake Mead.
Yeah, everything was just beautiful. So already awesome start going to see the Grand Canyon, flying over it like that. Get into the airport. The airport is almost overwhelming. It's slot machines and giant screens and lights, and I was just like, this is the airport?
It doesn't whisper to you. It's not like, oh, we'll be in Vegas in a few minutes. It's like, welcome to Vegas! Pow! Slaps you right in the face.
Yes, it does. And I was just like, holy shit. So we get there, I'm overwhelmed, looking at everything. We're walking to baggage claim, and I see a fancy man, tall, fancy man dressed in a suit, holding an iPad, and it says Jason Salter on it. I'm like, oh wow, that's so weird.
There's two of you.
Didn't register that it was for us.
Right.
I was like, oh, somebody has his name, or maybe since we're staying at the Bellagio, they have a list of all the names that are like, thank you for coming. Here's your name on it. I don't know. So once he started walking with us, I was like, oh, well, I'm like, it's for us. Okay. And so you surprised me with a limo pickup to bring us to our hotel.
Big stretch job too. Not, we didn't cheap out on it. We did it.
Yeah. And I was just like, I love surprises too. A lot of people don't. I'm like, I love surprises. So I thought it was so cute. And I was shocked. So we got to ride in a limo to our hotel, which we stayed at the Bellagio. Right. Which was all in itself. But just the drive into it was really cool. Getting to look at all the giant hotels and screens and stores. Like they had big name stores that I didn't know were
like really stores. Yeah.
Tom Ford, Dolce Gabbana, Chanel,
Gucci.
Yeah, all the big things. I was like, oh my God, there's
like the real fucking store, not just like, oh look, they sell those bags there.
Yeah,
no, that's the only thing.
Not in the TJ Maxx markdown section over there. It's Michael Kors. No, you're like,
that's actually Michael Kors.
Yeah, it's so it was really cool.
And all of Bellagio is full of that shit, and that's really the only way to show up to Bellagio is in a stretch limo.
Fenty, like all these big things. So just seeing all the hotels passing by, like the big MGM, Paris, like all these, and then we pull up to Bellagio and go inside, and it's just huge. Like everything's ginormous. Like it's just so big. And
do you remember why we chose Bellagio?
Because, well, because it's one of the classic ones. I wanted to stay at one of the classic places, but also we watched Ocean's 11 on our way in to kind of get into the whole zone of it. Yeah. But yeah, it was really cool. I'm glad we stayed there. It was really cool. So we go in there, and also a little side note, I didn't know, well, he told me before we went to Vegas, but before that, I thought there was the hotels, and then there's like one big main casino that everybody goes to in Vegas. No, there's casinos everywhere, and it's in every hotel. Oh, I didn't know that.
That's why I call her baby girl.
I didn't know.
It's so wonderful.
So go to the hotel, kind of look around a little bit, and then get up to the room, check in, get dressed, go down. I gambled a little bit for my first time in Vegas.
The room was cool, too, because we could see we were on the Strip.
Open up the thing, it's Strip, and the fountains going off.
Power, the power curtains in the room, that was cool.
So it was a really cool view to see the Strip and the fountains right there. First night was kind of chill. We stayed in the hotel, gambled a little bit, got something to eat. Next day, it was a little exploring. We went around. It's fucking hot, by the way.
Average temperature of like 190, some crazy bullshit
105,
like that.
106, like almost every day.
It's like walking on the fucking sun. That's how hot it is.
It was hot. But we explored kind of one side of the Strip. Got to see all the different hotels and walk down.
So kind of the floor plan of what we were doing was kind of explore and goof off during the day, and then there was some type of event planned every day. Yeah, something that you hadn't done before.
That night, Wednesday, we went, first we went to the lovely largest dispensary in the entire world.
Yeah. So cat's out of the bag. We're marijuana advocates.
Planet 13.
That place, it's the mecca for potheads.
Crazy. It's like a mall. There was a cafe. There was a restaurant. There was a merch store. There was little things to take pictures of.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Huge.
We spent an hour and a half in there.
It was ginormous. It was really cool, though.
Yeah.
And the reason we went there was because we were seeing Cirque du Soleil. I'm saying Cirque du Soleil. I still don't get it. We're seeing Cirque du Soleil that night, and we thought it would be a good idea to get a little, chill.
Yeah, catch a little buzz.
Yeah.
And save a little money.
Yeah. And we saw Ka, which was so cool.
Yeah.
It was a really good experience.
Yeah. So those of you who don't know, if you're planning a trip to Vegas, Cirque du Soleil is not just one thing. There's O and Ka. There's one now called
Mystique.
Big Apple, Mystique. There's lots of different versions of it. And we went and saw, on recommendation from a friend of ours, we went and saw Ka.
It was really cool.
At the MGM Grand.
Like really well put together, very immersive into everything, like above you, everything.
Yeah. The whole showroom's built for that show. So that's what was really neat about it.
And then I think we kind of stayed around MGM that night.
We did a little gambling and stuff, kind of fucked around at MGM.
I can't remember what we ate, but that's fine.
We didn't actually have dinner that night.
I think we had appetizer stuff.
Because of the timing of the show. It was too early to have dinner when we went, and it was too late to have dinner when we got out.
Yeah.
Not too late, but we didn't want to eat at 10 o'clock.
Yeah. Then we stayed around there, and then the next day was...
Next Thursday,
which that was my surprise night.
Yep.
we kind of, did the same thing, messed around, explored, saw the places, went inside a lot of the hotels. I think I gambled in probably every hotel.
Yeah. Yeah. And that was the thing, is I wanted you to see every hotel, or at least everyone that we could go to with the amount of time. You just can't see everything in Vegas in 4 days, but I think we did pretty good. I think we got most of them.
So Thursday was Fremont Street?
Yes.
I think so. Yeah. So we went to Fremont Street during the day.
Yeah.
Which that was cool.
Yeah. Fremont's cool to look at, but it's if Las Vegas is Macy's, Fremont is Walmart.
Not so much anymore, though.
It's still kind of cool to look at, but
it's still just as pricey, though.
Well, I didn't mean price-wise.
Oh.
I meant there's a lot of homeless people.
Oh,
It's not the safest area to be in. So, but it was still cool to see it.
And then we were there for a while.
Yeah, we stayed for 2 or 3 hours.
And then went back to the hotel, kind of got dressed, and for my surprise birthday dinner. So we went over to Paris, and I still didn't know what we were doing there, but I started looking around. Paris is really cool on the inside
it's
too.
Beautiful.
And then I see in the corner this big red tower and red lights, and it says Gordon Ramsay, and I was just like, no. I'm like, are we eating at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant?
It's your favorite chef.
Yeah. And so that was my surprise. We got to eat at Gordon Ramsay restaurant, and best meal I've had.
Oh, by far. Yeah.
And we got to do the cool experience. We sit down. It's very,
very elegant, very fine dining.
And we're looking at the menu, and there's like so much, and it's a lot of stuff that I don't really necessarily know what it is.
We couldn't pronounce most of the words.
Yeah, so I was just like, I don't know. And then she brings over this fancy red envelope with his autographed picture and a little menu thing, like a 5-course menu. And it said, this is Gordon Ramsay's, recommendations and his signature items for his tasting menu. It was like a 5-course thing, and we just decided we're here. Why not? Because everything was pretty much expensive on individually.
You're in his restaurant. Why not?
Why not let him choose for you? So we did that, and so glad we did, because it was the best meal. The first thing once I saw the first thing, I was like, oh my God, this better not be the whole thing. Like, everything better not be this small.
Right. She's like, maybe we're going to be hungry when we leave.
So the first thing was an amuse-bouche, and it was like a quail egg.
It's called a Scotch egg, but it was a quail egg.
Quail egg with some random stuff. It was good.
Right.
It was just it's all stuff I never would have ordered.
Right.
Second thing was like a raw fish and some type of aioli and pickled mushrooms and edamame, all this weird stuff. Pineapple relish, which was really good. And then we had like the scallop and risotto with bacon jam thing. Yeah. And then his signature beef Wellington and lobster.
Yeah. And then your favorite orgasmic part of the whole meal? She's a big dessert freak.
And every time I go to have dessert at a restaurant, it's always chocolate. I always just pick, I'm like, give me whatever's chocolate. And so I saw this, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to like that, but whatever, we'll see. It was sticky toffee pudding. Yep. And I didn't even know pudding wasn't pudding.
She doesn't even like pudding.
I thought pudding was, like, when you say pudding, pudding. It wasn't pudding at all. No. But it's like a date cake with some brown toffee sauce and brown butter ice cream on the side. It was the best dessert I've ever had in my life. Yeah. And I had no idea I would have liked it. Like, I never would have ordered that. Yeah. It sounds weird. You can't, like, even same date cake sounds gross, but it was so good. I can't even explain it. But
it's so strange because when you watch people like Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay and, those big name chefs and stuff, you realize they're famous, but it never really occurs to you how really good they are. Let me tell you, that guy's not fucking around. Yeah. He knows what the flow of that food and the flavor profiles just matched up perfectly.
Tasted everything.
Yeah, and we were full. Yeah. But it was not big portions, but we were full when we left.
Yeah,
it was amazing.
So that was
best
Thursday. Meal, and thank you again.
Thank you.
That was such an amazing time, an amazing meal. Yeah. And I loved the surprise. And I think we stayed around there for a little bit.
Yeah, we kind of gambled a little bit in the Paris and had some cocktails and goofed off.
And then I think after that we went and watched the Bellagio fountains.
We did. Yeah, after that, you're right. We did. We went back over and watched I think it was the 10 o'clock.
Yeah, Bellagio fountains, which you've never seen those.
Never seen it.
Passed by them a million times. Never actually watched it. And so we got to see those and actually stayed and found a spot and watched them through the whole thing. Beautiful. And then the next day was
Friday. That was another bucket list thing for you. We walked
to the sign.
We walked to the sign. Yeah,
Yes.
the fabulous Welcome to Fabulous Las Vegas.
Yes. And
Will you come with a small fortune and leave with a smaller one?
Which, yes, I wanted to see the Las Vegas sign, and then we decided to walk, which I'm glad we did it,
Yeah.
but it was only supposed to be like a 45-minute walk.
Yeah.
Turned into like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Because it's just so hot, and also you're passing all these different, I'm like, so every like 10 minutes, 20 minutes, we can stop in there, have a drink, maybe get a little snack, and see around the hotels, gamble a little bit. So we took our time getting there, and then the last like 10, 15 minutes, I was dying. Like, I had blisters on my feet. I had to take my shoes off and like put them as sandals. I was wearing like white tennis shoes, and you were laughing at me. I was
when you get down past the Luxor, between there and the sign, there's really nothing.
There's nothing left.
There's
So
nothing.
you're
It's
just
government
walking
buildings
in
and
straight
gas
heat.
stations and crap like that.
And it's 106, just air's thin. It's hot. Like, I was getting a little miserable. But we were so close, and we finally get to it, and there's like a line to go take your picture. And it's not quick pictures, you know. Yeah. They're like people doing like a million different poses each time, and I'm like,
and there's nobody orchestrating it.
Yeah,
it's just a bunch of random tourists.
I'm not waiting. I'm like, I'm gonna go off to this. I don't care if there's people in the back of it. Just go get into the side. Let me get it, and let's start walking back or get the Uber back. I'm like,
do you remember they had? I said, I'm sure there's some type of concession up there.
Yeah.
Like some type of food truck or something. We get something cold to drink. And so, sure enough, as we're walking up, we see it. Mm-hmm. There's a big food truck there. There's a table where they're selling water and stuff. We're like, oh, okay, we're going to be fine. As we're walking up to it, Las Vegas Health Department is there writing them a citation and shutting them down. They couldn't sell anything. So I had to steal like a handful of ice just to wet her down a little bit.
Because she rubbing it on my neck. And
she was gonna pass out. I mean, it was fucking hot.
Yeah. And I'm from Florida. I'm born and raised in Florida. So I'm used to heat. And that was just a totally different heat. Right. Like, I'm used to moisture in the air and the sun, and like, and so you're almost feels nice in the way you're getting that vitamin D. It's burning on you. That's just hot air. Like, everything's just hot. As soon as you open the door, it hits you in the face. It's just awful. Hot. Yep. Almost like walking around in a sauna all day.
Yep. So needless to say, we Uber back.
Oh yeah, we Uber back. Thank God. I think we took a nap because that night we were supposed to go to a club and
we were going to rooftop club at that night.
Yes. So we took a nap. I think we woke up at like 8:30 or something. And then we decided not to go because I got ready, got into my dress, and I'm just like, I feel like a sausage in this dress. I'm like, I'm so bloated. I don't know why.
When you see the picture, she's so fucking beautiful. And so every dress that she bought had purpose and meaning and stuff. And she put that dress on. She was like, I cannot hold my stomach in all night long.
I'm sucking in my stomach. Right? I'm like, I can't go to a club and dance and like try to suck in myself. I don't know what I think.
So it's okay.
I think it was more than I'm not a big drinker at all. Like, so I was already drinking more than I have in the last year put together. So I think my body was just like not feeling
shutting down
great. And so I was just like, I'm not feeling it. I feel bloated. I feel like acidy. I just don't want to go. So we still went out and did things, and we danced a little bit at a place. But
we got our dance on, and we popped into a couple different places.
Yeah, just didn't go to a big club type thing.
Yeah, it was still fun.
Next time we'll go.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had a really good night that night, and then
next day is Saturday,
which was leaving day, but we didn't leave till like 8 o'clock at night.
Yeah.
So kind of checked in. We did more exploring.
Yep.
Did we go anywhere?
We kind of popped around and popped into hotels and gambled a little bit.
Oh, that's when I won my...
So go ahead, tell your gambling triumphs.
So I really did want to play some poker and like card games. And
so let me lay the foundation for this. So before we we left, she was all excited, of course, and she's a study freak. She's very, very smart. And so when she's going to go do something, especially something she's never done before, she's afraid she's going to get embarrassed. And so, and I get it.
And I want to know all the information.
Studied. Like, she wanted to learn all the nuances of poker. Like, she was quizzing me all the time. What beats this and what beats that? And we played blackjack, and we bet with real coins and, getting her in a rhythm so that she could figure this out. We got to Vegas. We didn't turn one fucking card the whole time we were there. So I'll let you take it from there.
I found this machine called Wheel of Fortune Cash Link 2.
And that's important.
Yes, and I just felt it. I was on that machine. I'm like, this is my machine. This is the one. And it actually paid out pretty well. I won a bunch of times on it. So any casino we went into, I was like, we scoured the place, and I'm like, where is it? Where is it? I'm like, that's it.
Had to be the right one.
I'm like, that's it. So that's the one I played the entire time. And I was up and down. I took a budget of $1,000 expecting to lose it because, you know, it's Vegas. They said just expect to lose your money. I'm like, okay. Saved up $1,000. I'm like, okay. I was up and down a bunch, and then it was the last day, and I was down to my last 100. And I was like, well, I'm like, here I go. Here's my last 100. Put it in. Something was in the air with that machine, and I'd keep winning like 300 or 250 at a time. So I started cashing out each time and putting in a different 100. And I gave you, like, you were sitting next to me, and I would just like hand you the thing. And I'd stop for a minute, and I was like looking, I'm like, I wonder how much I did. I was at $900. I'm like, I started with $100 and I'm at 900. I'm like,
it worked out perfect because I'm not a big gambler, and so I stopped about day 3, and I just got a cigar and a cold drink and sat next to her and smoked my cigar and let her play.
And so I did that, and then I got a little greedy, and I lost most of it. I was down to 200 again, and I was like, damn it. And then so I stopped for a couple hours, and then it was maybe like 6 o'clock, and I'm like, all right, well, we got some time to kill. I'm like, whatever, let me just put this last 200 in. Well. We're about to leave. So I put it in, and I won like $300 again. So total, I was like 500, and I was like, all right, I'm stopping. Don't let me spend any more. So I ended up leaving with half the money I set out to lose, which I thought that was pretty good. Yeah. You know.
Yeah, she's an even Steven. She never does bad. She may not win everything, but she didn't lose anything either. Yeah. She's like, it worked out great.
Yeah. Walked away with half. Thought that was good.
So then we flew the red eye home.
Yes. Our flight was at 10 o'clock, and then got in at 8:30 in the morning or something.
Had a little bit of a layover in Atlanta, and then got in about 8:30 in the morning.
And overall, I just want to say that it was an amazing trip, and I appreciate it so much.
You're very welcome.
Everything you did and everything you did to provide and show me Vegas for my very first time. I had the most memorable trip, best trip I can say that I've had.
You are very welcome. And I will tell you, and I told you this, and I'll make sure I'll tell everybody else too. I've been to Vegas 1,000 times. I had restaurants out there for years, and so I was out there all the time. But I was always just drinking and gambling and, you know, doing normal stupid shit you do when you go to Vegas. I was never really paying attention to my surroundings and really absorbing what a cool place it is. But going with you, I got to see it all through your eyes for the first time and really enjoy the sightseeing component of it, like the meal that we had and the hotels that we saw and the show and all of those types of things and the fountains. It was just, for me, it was an amazing trip. And it was something that I will never, ever forget. I couldn't tell you anything other than the hotel I stayed in about any of my other trips. But I remember every detail and nuance about this trip, and it's because I was with you. And it was wonderful. You are very welcome.
Thank you.
So with that, like we always say, love because it feels right.
Not because it looks right.
Thanks for joining us, everybody. And by the way, we didn't get married. Not yet.
Yeah.
Peace.